I gave up on that.
All right, so shh.
I used to.
Okay, so here's the answer I got. The first one, 16. Oh, I'm hallucinating. Sorry. Don't do drug, Mr. Ye. Don't do drug.
He's hallucinating. You're hallucinating.
It's all Nelly's fault.
Are they confessing?
Nelly got me sick. Do you hear that sound? All right. Maybe I should turn around. That's good. Smart. Very good job, Mr. Ye. Very good job. All right, cool. Stop coughing. All right, so I got A, 16 minus pi. You got 16 minus pi? B, I got -1. C, I got -2. D, I got 0. E, I got -11/2. F, I got 3 plus 9 pi over 4. G, I got 2. And any question from these questions? D is 0. If you have a question, raise your hand because I cannot hear all the people are talking. Yeah, Fiona? G? Sure. G is basically going from -4 to all the way to 5. So right here, so this part is going to be -3. This part is 3/2. This one's 9/2. This one's -1. So I just added all the number because I got some addition, subtraction. So that's going to give you 6 minus 3 minus 1. And that's going to be equal to 2. Connor? Yes?
Can you explain? I got 5.5 instead of. That's just.
Because it's a 5 to 0. It's not 0 to 5.
Oh, wait, 11.
Oh,
Well, that's too much. Just add the negative.
Because I had to switch the boundary, right?
So you can write the same as
What? All right, shh. I cannot talk over you guys because I'm gonna do the one explaining. I know you guys try to explain, but give me a second. This one is f of x. It's just between this first. -1 to 0 is 3/2. Do you see that's 3/2? Now I'm gonna break up the two integrals. And this one I'm gonna talk about integration between -1 to 0 of 3x dx. Today we're gonna learn the way to do it. But right now, I'm going to just grab 3x. 3x means rise over run is 3. And like this. So that means I'm looking at this area here. But the area is 3/2. But since it's below x-axis, that's going to be -3/2. So you got 3/2 minus 3/2. That's equal to 0. Because the first one's 3/2. The second one's negative because it's below x-axis. You look at this area here, this is a 1, this is 3. So it'd be 1 times 3 times half. So 3/2, -3/2.
You add that to.
Yeah, to the first one. So the first one's positive because this one's 3/2, right? It's actually a pretty cool question. It just cancel out. Can I do E? Sure. E is very good question, guys. Brandon, I cannot talk over you. Shut. Okay. So I'm live stream. I cannot curse. Otherwise, I'll be. Well, I got in trouble last time when I said it. Yeah, somebody reported me. But. Huh? Oh no. My student reported me. But that day I was in a bad mood, so I was like, I was kind of aggressive. I was like, and yeah. Well, kind of deserve it, but so basically, if you have absolute value, this one is gonna reflect it upward. That's what they do to the graph. Now look at this. Absolute value sign can be outside, then it's always positive. It doesn't matter what, because the absolute value is inside. You basically make this graph like this, and basically you figure out this. This is a 1. This is 9/2, so it's 11/2. But since the order is switched, it's not 0 to 5, it's 5 to 0. So therefore, there's a negative sign in front of it. And that's why it's negative. Any other questions? Neither? No? Abby? Good? Hey, Bennett?
No.
No?
The only thing I got.
Okay, so let's go to the next questions. I got 11 for 2. I got 12 for 2.
Wait, what?
Wait, hold on a second. I don't know why this is a negative. I think this is I think this is 2, right? Oh yeah, because it's a box. I had to cancel the box, so it's 2.
Yeah, choose to become how I got what I did. Because I didn't even write down the problem. Look, yeah.
I'm thinking about Thursday. Yeah, before the break. And Friday we have party here. Ping pong Friday, all day long. And you guys can bring food for Christmas party. But except I'm gonna be like all drugged. I don't know if you remember last year.
Oh, because of the surgery. Because of the surgery, I'm like, yeah.
Why'd you still show up that day? I had surgery 20 minutes after first period.
Actual answer. The answer is.
Yeah, you came to first period that day. You're like, my surgery's not till later. I'm coming to tea.
Yeah, I did. No, you should have seen like in that same day. So I had a surgery at 10:30, and I'm done at 11:30, and so I don't remember what happened between 11:30 to 8 o'clock. But I wake up at 8 o'clock. I tutor another section from 8 o'clock to 8 o'clock to 10 o'clock. And that day, like people says, I don't remember what you said. Whatever you said doesn't even make sense. But I was charging people like, I was like, yeah, I was tutoring a group of students, like 5 students. Luke DiMaggio is in there. And he's like, I have no idea what you said. So I was like kind of high. But yeah, and then the following day I come to teach again, and then my face all swollen. No, I also leave late, so that kind of offset I come in late.
Sometimes I was walking in late for first period. I'd see you walking next to me, and I'd be like, why?
You'd always come to the back so that I wouldn't see that you were late.
Yeah, I used to try to park in the back until the admin says, Mr. Ye, you're not allowed to park in the back. And the way they do it is very passive aggressive. They send an email to everybody.
Like, yeah, everybody, please don't park in the back.
Yeah, please do not park in the back. Capitalize. Especially 600 building. And I was like, it's not Parm. They are. But that's okay. I understand where they come from. For janitor. And I was like, I'm more important than janitor. Alright, so shh. Guys, do you guys have any question for 2 and 3? You are for sure gonna see those questions, 2 especially. Huh? Oh yeah, of course. So the way I kind of think about it is between -4 to 15, right? So that should including from -4 to 2 and then 2 to 15. That's called additive interval property, because this is the whole area between -4 to 15. It should be -4 to 2 and 2 to 15. Now, since the giving is a 15 to 2, so when I plug in this part, I should have said that's -4 because I need to change the boundaries. So now I'm going to add 4 to the other side, so that's going to be -11. But the question's asking from 2 to -4 is not -4 to 2, so I need to change that -11 to +11, so I change it to +11. So I might need to write down here, this one's -11 between integration between -4 to 2 f of x.
Oh yeah.
However,
The lower bound is
the question's not asking that. The question's asking upside down. Yes.
You explain three or yeah.
Sure, yeah. So, I'm gonna tell you like the easiest function that you know. It's actually y equal to x. Imagine have y equal to x. That's a function like this, right? So you see that this y equal to x is like this because now if I really want to find the area between, let's say, 2 to 3, and that's gonna be 3 over 2. But I can also predict, because it's odd, the other side should gonna be negative. Does that make sense? Because this one, oops, my bad. This one becomes a negative. This one's a negative 3 over 2. Does that make sense? So when you figure out, I figure out from -7 to 0, that's the whole interval, equal to -7 to -2 and -2 to 0, which is that's the whole interval. But I know from -7 to -2, that is 5. Well, from -2 to -7 is 5. So I'm changing to -5. Is that okay? So I subtract over, so that is going to be -2. -2 equal to -2 to 0. But they are asking from 0 to 2. But if this side is end up to be, let's just say between -2 to 0 of f of x dx is end up to be -2. So the positive side, because our function, that becomes +2. Just like when you hear it's -2, I hear it becomes +2 because the symmetry is going to give you the symmetry to origin. So one side is negative area, on the other side, the same intervals, but it's on the other side, it's going to give you the opposite number. Does that make sense? It's actually a pretty cool question. I give myself pat on the back because I invented that question. I didn't look up anywhere. Okay, I don't know why you got. All right, so number 4 is 125 over 2. Number 5 is x minus 6 root x plus 10. Number 6 is very important. It's not on a coming up test, but it for sure is going to be on AP exam. Because the mean value theorem, you have to know it by heart. You have to know it by heart. Now, what I'm trying to say is the mean value theorem is basically find the slope between two endpoints, just like what Eli say. And then that's called slope of Connor. That's slope of secant line. Now, I have to find the slope of tangent line because I do FB minus FA, I got 13 over 2. That's my slope between two endpoints. Now, after that, I have to take a derivative of this to find slope of tangent line. So I hear it's going to be low D high, high D low, end up to be like something like this. And I set it equal to each other, I cross multiply, I solve it. I got x equal to 2. And yes, Kaden?
Wouldn't it be positive and -2 because you have to square root it?
No. -2 is not in the interval between 1 and 4.
Oh, right.
Because you have to be within interval. And also realize you cannot equal to 0 as well because 0 is not defined. So it's not continuous or not differentiable. So it's not continuous, not differentiable. If your answer is 0, then it's not. It's if the question is between -1 to 4, you would have said mean value theorem does not apply. You don't even need to do calculation. You're gonna say it's asymptote at 0. Since -1 to 4 is not continuous, therefore mean value theorem cannot apply. Does that make sense?
Okay, thank you.
Because 3x is on the bottom. So literally, that if you almost pray that interval is there's an asymptote, vertical asymptote in there, then you can just say mean value theorem does not apply. Sorry, I'm not doing calculation. I'm not wasting my time. Do you see what I'm saying? Do you guys understand me, or don't just nod? What? If I were to say this is a -1, then you're gonna say mean value theorem does not apply because x cannot equal to 0. X equal to 0 is not continuous. Therefore, mean value theorem does not apply. You don't even need to do calculation. Or if you see like between the interval there's vertical asymptote or a cusp or sharp turn, you can say it's not differentiable at a sharp turn, so therefore it's not continuous. It's not differentiable. So mean value theorem does not apply. Does that make sense? Okay. Same thing on this question. This is 1 to 3. Now, Jenny, do you go back to do it? It should get c equal to root 3.
Yeah.
You got that? And it's not negative root 3 because it's not doing that. Yeah. Number 8 is negative 9 pi over 2 because the interval is upside down. It's not low to high, it's high to low. So therefore, it's negative 9 pi over 2. But this is a circle equation. I love them circle equations. Because the interval is not low to high. Okay, number 9 is 78. Now the reason being is I will have to do this, show up additive property. And I'll get negative 11 equal to negative 5. And that I know it's between 4 to 10. But that's only including this part. It's not including this part. And this part, I'm going to show you a different diagram. This is a trapezoid. Just between 4 to 10. But we're going to show you an easier way to do this today. But imagine 4 to 10 is like this. From 4 to 10, it's going to get some type of trapezoid. Well, how do I know this size is 8? Because I plug in 2x. That's equal to 8. And I plug in 10. That's going to be 20. Does that make sense? And then it's going to be 20 plus 8 divided by 2. That's average to base. So that's basically saying like this. It's a rectangle. Then the height is going to be 6. So 6. So basically you take an average to base and you make it a rectangle. So a lot of time that trapezoid is based on rectangle area. But you just average to base. So that's why you can average those two base. You can say, oh yeah, the base is 14. And then the height is 6. So 14 times 6 is equal to 84. 84 minus 6 from what you're beginning with, that's how you get 78. So you got 78 here. Now today we're going to show you an easier way to do this without going to a trapezoid, because today we're going to show you an easier, much easier way. Number 10, that's my graph. And this, I draw 2 cross here because there is actually IP, or point of inflection. So it'll be concave up, concave down, concave up. And there's 2 x-intercept, and there's a minimum here. All the things should be in the graph. And you can check the decimals, you should get everything. I actually just kind of shorthand, I did very fast, but this is my answer. How much time I have? 10 minutes? 15 minutes? Thank you. All right, so how do I, guys, how do I use arithmetic skill to find it instead of going to geometry? The problem of geometry has a limitation, because today if instead of 2x is x squared, then that becomes a curve, then I don't really know how to find the area behind the curve. A straight line, it's really easy. It can be a triangle, could be a trapezoid, could be a semicircle, could be absolute value, could be a triangle as well. But in this particular case, I don't know if I do a trapezoid and if you don't know the area of trapezoid. So it's got to be an easier way. So we're going to talk about fundamental theorem of calculus. So what do I mean by fundamental theorem of calculus? Well, I'm going to write down. Now, there was a part 1 and part 2. So fundamental theorem of calculus basically is to find definite integral, which is really easy. But however, we're going to give you a new notation, so that way sometimes people get confused. So if I integrate the non-capital F, if I integrate the non-capital F of x, it becomes a capital X. And if you have A to B, that's going to be between A to B. Now, some people is gonna say, "Wait, Mr. Ye, do you have to have a plus c?" We're gonna talk about that in a second. But what fundamental theorem of calculus says? Well, if you have that, that's equal to f of b minus f of a, and that's it, because we can do that. Now, let's say, assume that you have a plus c here, right? Let's assume that you have plus c. I'm just writing different handwriting there. So we will have a plus c, and we have plus c here. What will happen to the c? C will cancel out. So when it's definite integral, c is not important. You don't even have to write it out because they cancel out. So sometimes they say, oh, c is important. No, c is not important, because at the end of the day, you're still going to get exact same thing. So you don't even need a c here because c is no longer needed. And you're going to say, okay, I can do that. What's integration to x? X squared, right? And that's between what? Between 4 to 10. So can I just do 10 squared minus 4 squared, which is 100 minus 16? That's equal to 84, which is just the same 84 I use in the trapezoid. But this time, I can actually do it arithmetically. Okay, so the c cancel out. Now, yes, Beta? It's supposed to be a straight line. Yeah, it's supposed to be a line looks like this. So at 4, I'm gonna say this is a 4. This is gonna be 8. At 10, it's gonna be right here, and that's gonna give you 20. So it's right here. This is 20. So it'd be 20 plus 8 divided by 2 times 6, because this is 6. So this one is so hard to calculate because this is a 14 times 6. That's equal to 84. You get the same answer by looking for the area geometrically. But the problem is, what if today's x squared? So if that's x squared, that becomes a curvy line, then you no longer can find area because it's not a normal situation now, not something geometrically can be done. So therefore, we rely on fundamental theorem of calculus to figure out the answer. Now, so for me, I'm going to show you, says, hey, can you find this? This is a very easy number to work with, so you should get an answer for this pretty easily. What's the first one? What'd you get? If you got 14, you got a right answer. If you didn't get 14, ask other people how they get 14.
Oh, yeah.
What time we get off here? Okay, I have 9 minutes.
Oh, that's why.
Now the second one is in, what is it? What did you get? The second one. 2? I don't think so.
Oh, I misunderstood. Oh my god. I thought we discussed this where you have to do based on yeah, no. 2 times. What is it? I'll play right there. Sorry. No, I got 14.
That's a gross number. Did you guys get 14 on the first one? So I don't need to go over 14, right? Okay, so this one is gonna be integration of u to the negative half. Yeah, well, u and x doesn't really matter.
Oh, that was a 4.
Oh, okay, the second one I make a mistake. I make a mistake on the question because you cannot integrate over 3 over u. This one is gonna be square root u, I think.
Because since it's
Yeah.
like on your tests on the exams, like I usually change like the u's to x's. Would it be wrong if I just left it as like x4?
Yes and no, because later on we're gonna do something called u substitution. Usually they will do it in terms of x. But later on you're gonna use substitution. You're gonna say u equal to something. So.
Like actual was Yes. Well, I just
Huh? Oh, 1/2, you're right. Thank you. Did too quick. Is that better?
Wait. No, you forgot the green.
I forgot what?
Yeah. Because you put the three down and then you can flip. It's 3 times 2.
Wait, hold on a second. This one is 3. I forgot to write down 3, did I?
Yeah, it's 3 times 2. I remember doing it.
So this one's gonna be 6.
Yeah, I worked with that.
Jenny, she called.
40 minus 70. There's what? Why I'm looking at Argentina.
Because I keep mistaking my own like.
Okay, so what is
Again?
-3?
when you divide these two, you get 1, right? You still got to integrate this. They're both 1. The 3x minus 3x.
Okay, I'm gonna talk about average value for a second. It's 1 over b minus a, integration of f of x dx between a to b. Now the average value is actually just have 1 over b minus a in the front. But what does average value mean? Imagine if I have a graph. Imagine I have a graph of this, like say something like this, right? That's the graph. So this area here, this area is gonna be blue shaded area. So blue shaded area here, or green shaded area. Okay, so that just means if I make this graph into a rectangle, if I make this graph into a rectangle, that just say this is some type of rectangle here I have. And this, the height of this is 1 over b minus a, integration of f of x dx between a to b. Why? Because basically you take the area, you divide it by how wide they are. Then you become the average height. So the average value is known as the average height of a rectangle that give you the same value, same output as the integral, as a definite integral. A lot of time people didn't understand this. Did I tell you about like how this 8 and 2, why is that division sign there? What did I say? Oh.
Looks like shit.
Well, I like that color too, so it look even more like shit. Thanks, Jesus. Do you know why this notation sign? No, man, I'll talk about mom.
Oh, sorry.